Good morning to all my awesome friends and family out there. I really do appreciate all the love and support you guys all show me. Please give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. And I like to leave me some comments and let me know if you like the subject matter. For I'll know that this is what you want to hear more about because there's a lot more we can add to all these different conversations we have together. I had somebody leave me a comment on my channel about groups because I had mentioned that I didn't do well on my channel until I started joining groups. And she was wanting to know how you found groups, what I meant by it, I think also. So I thought I would go and explain a little more about groups. Groups on YouTube. Well, how it started with me, Denise Jordan, I know I've mentioned her multiple times on my channel, but I'll mention it again. She has, Denise Jordan with this and that, is basically a regular YouTube channel. And she does all kinds of cooking and cleaning and household hints and how to run a household. And it's an awesome channel, but what I started watching on hers was her gardening, because she just also does gardening in the spring and summer on her channel. And that's how I would watch it occasionally in the summertime. So I was probably watching it maybe a year, maybe before she ever asked me to join in on something. And she asked me to join in, and I did. And she's the first one that ever asked me to ever join in on anything. So because she was the first one, I joined in. And when I joined in, still nothing happened after that really, because I didn't follow up with it. And so it was maybe almost another year before I started following up. And I don't know why I didn't start doing it sooner, because if I had, my channel would have grown a lot sooner, at least a year sooner. And what it is, when I say groups, she has a group of followers that follow her all the time. And that's one way of a group. But also what she does on YouTube, and this is where it was really my mistake, is that she also does a thing, YouTube Talk with Denise Jordan. And that is to help people that want to build small YouTube channels into bigger channels. And she connects you with a lot of other YouTubers that do a lot of different content. A lot of it is home decor, so I don't want to say it isn't. But it isn't all home decor. There are a lot of different kinds of channels on that group. And then she has it up every Sunday. And you get to connect with a lot of other YouTubers. And that's the most important thing about building a YouTube channel. You've got to connect. And that was 100% my fault, my problem, that I wasn't doing in the past. I wasn't connecting. So the first 4.5 years of my channel, I never connected with anyone really. And that's why I had so few comments, I had so few anything. And it wasn't that I didn't leave comments on people's channels, I did. But I don't think that is all you have to do. I don't think just a comment is going to make it. You have to really learn to connect with other people that are doing YouTube. And that's what I was doing wrong. The biggest thing I was doing wrong. And so then that was how I got started doing channels and connecting with other groups, was through Denise Jordan. And that really got me networking. And I have spread out since then to other networks, other groups, and different channels. And they're all similar, but you have to connect. You can't just leave a comment and think mysteriously you're going to have 100 new followers. It does not work that way. And I can't tell you what groups that you want to connect with, because I don't know what you're interested in. I have a lot of groups that I am connected to that I have nothing in common with them. Because I just joined this year Dana's Wonderless Crochet. I am not a knitter. I am not a crocheter. But I want to make one thing clear. There's a lot of things that I do like watching on those channels. Even though I don't do it, and I'm not going to do it. I like the enthusiasm of that group. They're so sweet, so kind. And maybe eventually, maybe I'll learn to do something. I don't know. Because as I'm working through all these channels that I follow, I do find a lot of similar things that everyone does. But what I did do, and that's why I thought it was worth joining the group, was I do gardening. And a lot of people do gardening even though they don't post on gardening. And so I did get a lot of people interested in my channel from that group because of the gardening. And then there are some, hard to believe, but it's true, some actually like the tablescapes that I do. Because I do a lot of different content on my channel. And I have gotten comments from them that they never thought about. Now, I don't do big, fancy, elaborate tablescapes. And that may be another reason why some of them like my tablescapes. Most of my tablescapes are for 2. I have done a few that are for 4, and I did one that was for 8. And that's the biggest one I've ever done, and I've only done 1. And it all has to do with teas and stuff. Because I have found out from just doing a lot of things, I really, really enjoy doing English high tea. And see, you don't know what you're going to enjoy or like until you do it. If you had told me 2 years ago I was going to do tablescapes, I'd say, you're crazy. I'm not interested in that. And now you look on my channel and there's a lot of tablescapes. And I can't even believe that I got myself so interested in English high teas that I'm going to do one every year on my channel now. Because I loved it so much. And because I loved it so much, that was the best turnout I had on any of my tablescapes ever. And the history of my channel was my English high tea. My watch time was higher, my viewers were bigger, and I had more awesome creators join in on it. Why? Because I loved it. Because I loved it, I think it showed on the camera, and I got a big response. And that's why you need to try to do things you personally love. It may work for you, it may not, but if you don't love it, it's not going to be loved back. So I think that's one thing you do have to do. Now, on these groups, you have to find what groups work for you. What I can tell you what groups I love and the groups that I have been so happy to join. Like I said, YouTube Talk with Denise Jordan is my favorite. Don't get me wrong, she's my favorite. And I do watch it really often. I don't watch it every week. A lot of times I watch it on replay because, you know, I work, I'm busy, and I can't always connect when they actually come up. But I love replays, so you'll see me a lot in the replays. Dana, Wonderlust Crochet Group, big group, sweet, sweet group. And I would say the reason why I love them the most, second after Denise Jordan's group, is because they are so supportive. The ones that follow you, I'm not saying everyone follows me because I don't have a lot they may be even interested in. If you're not into gardening or something to do with home decor, I don't know why you'd want to check out my channel. But some of the girls do gardening, and that's where they came from. And I really, really love it. Now, my third group I like to watch, this is the one and this is going to sound crazy because they're number 3 on my list, is Shed Wars. I really should start joining in on this group. It's just that my garden is just so poor and so little, it's hard for me to get myself ready to join in. If they're going to keep doing it every year, I probably will start doing it in a year or 2. I just need to get my yard a little bit nicer and more food production. But I love their enthusiasm on that group too. And I watch it, not as often as I should, but I do watch it. And there's a lot of channels that are from there that have spent off, and they do other things than just garden. And I watch a lot of those things. And a lot of it has to do with it all has to do with gardening, but it's just the way certain people garden and the way they talk about it that I get all excited. I just joined Haas of Offkilter Homestead recently. And so this is a new group, and I haven't really got to know them yet. We haven't, connected much, but it is a new group I joined in. So I do a lot of groups like that. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I don't see why this isn't going to work. The only thing is these are mostly homesteaders and people that have land, and I don't. I have a little tiny bit of land right in the city, and my garden's very, very tiny. But now I don't know if they're going to enjoy watching my channel. I'm going to enjoy watching their channel because I don't know why, but I like homestead videos. And I watch a lot of those too. And that's why I said I'm never going to have a homestead. I'm never going to have animals that I'm going to sip a dog or a cat. And but I still enjoy watching about the goats and the chickens and cows. And I know it sounds crazy because I'm a city girl. I've always lived in the city. But I like watching those things. And that's why I said I watch a lot of videos that have nothing to do with my channel, but I like them. And but anything to do with gardening and homesteading and home decor. And believe it or not, I can't believe I love the knitting crocheting group, but I do also enjoy them. And I would have never found this group if it wasn't for Dana Wonderless Crochet. So you got to keep your mind open. You don't know what you're going to like until you do it. I would have never thought I would have ever done a tablescape. I really didn't. And I did a very small little tablescape for two a year and a half ago. And everyone went crazy over it. And I said, oh my God, what is great about this? But you can't tell your ass say that because you don't know what they're enjoying. Maybe they enjoy that it's simple and not complicated. And some of them are so big and so complicated, you really have to, it takes hours to set those up, I'm sure. Because when I set up my English tea, it took me a long time, not counting the expense. But because I loved it, and I can do it for one or two things a year, but I couldn't do tablescape after tablescape like that. I'd be overwhelmed, exhausted from all the work. So maybe that's what they enjoy, the simplicity of a tablescape set up for two or four with a nice little centerpiece. I'm not going to say I don't do it. I love doing the centerpieces. And the funny thing is on the centerpieces, even when I was just doing gardening, I still did centerpieces. So I think I really do enjoy doing centerpieces, and maybe that's why it hasn't been as hard for me to go over to the tablescapes, because that was something, because when I look back on my videos, I said, you know, I was doing tablescapes. I'm not tablescapes, but I was doing centerpieces, and I was doing flower arrangements, and I remember enjoying doing that. So that I always enjoyed too, right from the beginning. And that was way before, at least a couple of years before I joined in with Denise Jordan's group. So there's a lot of things maybe you do similar that you don't even think about, even though you're doing it, until you go back and look at what you've done in the past. Well, I was doing something similar already. I don't know why I never thought about it and branched out. There are a lot of other interests that I do have that I'm going to bring to my channel next year. And when I do, I'm going to be bringing and watching more channels that do with those items. And that's what I mean by groups. Not everyone's the same. Even small groups like the Glam Squad, they're just 5 girls that are try to do something every week or every month. And they're still a group. They're just small. But there's still probably 100 to 150 people that go and check out those tablescapes every single week. And so you're still seeing and finding new people. And then people always come in that are brand new and leave all the time. Because people are always starting and stopping YouTube channels. I also try to find as many different kinds of groups, and I can't tell someone how to find them. Sometimes I just accidentally run across it. The Dana and Wonderless Crochet, I don't even know how, well, I know why. I shouldn't even say it. I know why I found it. Because I'm always looking for something to do with fairies. Because I'm still looking for that fairy group that I have not found. And I know they're out there. I just don't know how to find them. And of course, I do it the old-fashioned way. I click on to fairies. Everyone keeps telling me, if you click on to fairies, you're going to find them. No, you don't. Because what I find is someone that's done a fairy garden, and maybe they do 1 fairy garden or 2 fairy gardens a year, but they're not really into fairies. There is a difference. And I do try to follow those channels, but you know, when they're only putting up 1 fairy garden a year, is not the same as what I used to do every single week. Now I realize, because I'm doing so many different things on my channel, I don't do fairy gardens like I used to, but not because I don't like them. I just don't have enough time. But I do have Fairy Month in June every year, and I put up 30 fairy gardens in the month of June. So there is a lot of fairy gardens that do go up on my channel over the whole year. I don't know what I probably put up. I probably put up about 50 or 60 fairy gardens every year. So it's not like I'm not putting anything up. It's just, it's hard for me to put up what I used to, because I'm putting up so much different content. There's only so many hours in a day, and I have so many things I need to do. So that's how I found groups. You sort of have to just keep looking, and as you're looking, you may find 2 or 3 groups in maybe 1 week. And maybe some of the groups, now there's been a lot of groups that I have found besides these groups. And there's a lot of groups I follow consistently that I did not mention today. But I also want to mention something else. There's been a lot of groups that I have joined in with, and I've tried them for a week or 2 weeks out, and there's not enough content that I'm enjoying. Why am I going to waste my time watching channels that I have nothing that I'm interested in, or I don't like their content. Um, and I try to watch at least a couple of videos, because you can't always tell by one video if you're going to like somebody or not. But I have found a lot of groups that maybe the leader of the group, I might like her videos, but when I get into the actual group, no, there's nothing there. It's like pulling teeth. I can barely get myself through a video. And why am I going to do that when I can watch another group and I'm going to enjoy almost every single thing they put up, and I'm going to watch those videos through, and I'm enjoying myself. So try to find groups you're interested in. If you get with a group because maybe they have a large number and you think you're going to get a lot of views because of that group, maybe or maybe not. Because I've joined in a couple groups that look big, sound big, and they're so difficult to watch because I don't like the content. I just drop out. I don't even see any sense to it. And that's what I'm saying. And I'm not saying don't try them out, because you're not going to know until you try if you're going to even like them. Like the knitting and crocheting group. I can't believe that I love that group. And I talk about them all the time because I love them. And I love also that I get a lot of positive feedback. Now, this is another thing about me on groups. I like to stay with a positive group. If I'm with a group that's whining all the time about, I don't know, just this and that, then why are you on that group? Go find a group that makes you happy. And that's another reason. I found it's hard to believe there's a lot of unhappy groups out there that are always complaining about something. And I usually just drop them because I don't want to hear it. I realize that people have a hard time with views because I have troubles with views. I have a lot of problems with different things, but I don't want to listen to it every single day about problems when I already know it's hard. And I don't want to dwell on the hardness. I want to dwell on the positive of my channel. And that's why I can't deal with it. I have to just stay with positive groups. And the knitting and crocheting group are one of my favorite, most positive groups. And right behind that is Denise Jordan's group. They're all super sweet. I love them all. And I have a lot of people from that group that do follow me consistently, and I never have any issues with anybody. And if Denise says something to me, she's not saying it to be mean. She's trying to help me get better. And that's the same thing with Dana. She's not saying something to be mean to me. She's trying to tell me, Sandy, you're doing this wrong, for I'll stop it and improve my channel. And I need people that are not doing it to be mean. Now, there's nothing about criticizing someone just for the sake of criticizing. That isn't helping anybody. You need to have a real reason to say something and explain to them in a nice way that, Sandy, you would do better if you did this or this. There's a lot of things that I've done in the past that I didn't realize I was even doing anything wrong because nobody told me I was doing something wrong. So I do have to watch what I say and what I do, not because I'm heartless or I don't care. It's I don't understand that I'm doing it wrong. And that's another reason why you need to get in with a group, because you can see the way you should be putting your videos up, how you should be conducting yourself on YouTube in a positive light. Now, I've never been a big negative person, so that really isn't my problem exactly. And sometimes I'll get upset about something, and then I'll start putting something in a comment section, and I say, Sandra, why are you putting that there? They don't care about this. You need to delete. And so me and the delete button get pretty good sometimes, because this has been a really, really stressful year, 2020. So much unhappiness, so many bad things happening, so many bad issues that it overwhelms me with depression. And the only thing that sort of saves me really is YouTube. And I know that sounds crazy because I try to stay with positive people that try to find positive outlooks. But you got to get in with good groups. Stay away from those negative groups, and they're out there. I know they're out there. But you don't have to join those. You can watch a couple videos. You can see a couple people are always negative and depressed, and they're bringing you down. You need to drop those ones. You need to stay with more positive creators, because there's tons and tons of awesome creators out there. You find the channel that you love, what you need, and you join those groups and you stay with those groups, because they're going to be with you month after month, year after year. I've been now with Denise Jordan's group, I don't know, technically probably a couple of years, active and really staying with it probably about a year and a half. It's a really good positive group. I really love it. She doesn't dwell on negativity. She tries to show you what you can do to improve your channel, and these are important. And Dana's group is the same way too. They're just a really good positive group. But if you don't want to get with a big group, there's a lot of small groups. You just go out and you find yourself a small little group, or even get with 4 or 5 small new YouTubers and network with them. I mean, I do that too. I'll find someone that I really like for some reason. I like their channel, and they're small and they're new, and I try really hard to help them build their channels up. I get enjoyment out of that. It's not because I got one person that's following me that I didn't have before. I'm really truly trying to help them. And sometimes I worry that they might think I'm being a little too pushy, and I tell them that I'm not trying to sell them anything. I'm just trying to help them. And because it's the only reason why I've gotten better, because people have tried to help me, and they've told me, this isn't working, Sandra, you need to stop it. And I do listen, so I don't want you to think I don't. I want to thank Denise Jordan. She has been the biggest help on my channel. And I want to also thank Dana Wonderlust Crochet, because I think she's brought to my attention some other bad habits that I had, and I am trying hard to stop them, Dana. And that's all you can do. You can just try. It doesn't mean I'm perfect. I'm still going to backslide probably sometimes, but I'm trying hard to get better on my channel and improve it. And that's all we can do. But groups do help you a lot if you're a small YouTuber, and it helps you with keeping yourself engaged with other YouTubers. It helps you see where you're doing wrong. It helps you to see what other people are doing. It helps you improve your channel. I'm not telling you that everything you should look like everybody else, because that's not good either. You need to stand out. You need to have a little different content, and you have to do what makes you happy and what you physically can do, and what you don't have to do everything everyone else does. But groups really do help, and motivation is probably the #1 reason, because they're there to cheer you on, to give you the motivation you need to keep working through your channel, even when you don't see the views you want to see, you don't see the comments you want to see, and sometimes you don't even know what you're doing wrong. And sometimes just keep doing it and you'll get better. Hugs and kisses. Yes, here we go. Hugs and kisses from me to you, my awesome, awesome followers out there. I really do appreciate every one of you. Please give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Please leave me a comment. And if you want to see more content like this, I am more than happy to make more, because I finally have been here long enough to have an opinion, and I can tell you what doesn't work, because it hasn't worked for me. And I can also tell you that sometimes things don't work, but it's only because we need to work on it a little more to improve it, and it will work. See you later, all my awesome, awesome followers. If you're not already following, then if you like this kind of content, please think about starting to follow. Love you all so much. Take care. Bye-bye until the next video.